Files linked to India's largest nuclear plant, Kudankulam, have surfaced online after a cyber attack on a contractor's server. More than 19,000 documents, they have reportedly been leaked. The plant's operator, the Nuclear Power Corporation of India, however, maintains that the leaked material is limited to conventional infrastructure and that no nuclear safety or security systems were compromised.
NPCIL reiterates that the information claimed to be available in the public domain pertains only to conventional balance of plant common service facilities and does not relate to any nuclear safety or nuclear security-related systems or information.
Well, joining us here in the studio is RT India's Vinayak Dikshit. Vinayak, how serious is this particular breach? What exactly was compromised?
So basically, Osama, the Nuclear Power Corporation of India has acknowledged this leak, but they also seek to allay any fears that these leaks might lead to any serious nuclear safety issues. Why are they saying that? First, let's understand what all got leaked. So 19,000 sensitive files dated between 2016 and mid-2025, which includes engineering blueprints, control, cooling and ventilation design, supplier and vendor details, along with review and operational documents were leaked. Now, as per the NPCIL, which is the Nuclear Power Corporation of India Limited, the leaks are essentially about all of the systems inside a facility apart from the main nuclear facility itself. Now, it may include things like water supply, pipelines, pumps, and even information regarding drains. Now, the NPCIL says that these facilities are present in a range of industrial plants, including thermal power plants, and are not just exclusively limited to nuclear power plants. Who leaked it? Now, according to the media outlet Reuters, these documents were first uploaded on the dark web by a ransomware group called World Leaks. The breach traces back to a server hosted by a third-party provider called Yota. This server, in turn, was hosted by Reliance, the company which won the contract to create and construct the infrastructure for Reactor 3 and Reactor 4 back in the year 2018. Now, Reliance has also acknowledged this as a partial breach. So this is also not the first time something of a cyber nature has taken place in the Kudankulam nuclear power plant back in the year 2019. A malware linked to a South Korean hacker group was also found in the plant's administrative network. If we talk about the Kudankulam nuclear power plant as a whole, then this also happens to be India's largest nuclear power plant. It is located in Tamil Nadu's Tirunelveli district, and in itself is a testament to India and Russia's very successful energy partnership, since it was built in a joint effort, in a collaboration between India's NPCIL and Russia's Rosatom. And it also runs using Russian VVER 1000 reactor technology. And upon its full completion, once it is completely made and functional, it will have a capacity of around 6,000 megawatts. So that's a lot of nuclear and green power. It is another marker of India and Russia's energy cooperation, a relationship that is still continuing, Osama, despite the tremendous strain upon both the countries' respective energy infrastructures. Russia, due to the constant attacks they've been facing on their energy infrastructures from Ukraine, and India due to its own energy sector being affected by the conflict which is taking place in West Asia.
All right. Vinayak Dikshit, thank you very much for getting us all those updates.
Thank you, Osama.
Well, joining us now is a nuclear engineer as well as an energy policy advocate, Dr. Samyak Munot. Dr. Munot, thank you very much for speaking with our team here. India's biggest nuclear power plant, it has reportedly been hit by this cyber attack. There are thousands of files that have been leaked online. The government says that these leaked documents, they are non-sensitive, but just the fact that a breach like this can actually happen on an institution like this, shouldn't it raise eyebrows? Because in cybersecurity, the value of an attack, it can simply be about proving that the access is possible in the first place, and that in itself is quite alarming.
Definitely, this is alarming in a way that the data which they have released is balance of plant. I agree that this is beyond the nuclear reactor which is there. But if you look at, in a way, in long term, those data are there with them for a breach from the sense insider program, what we call. In that sense, this is a very definitive we'll say that it is a long-term breach possible. But even then, we need to understand that what balance of plants indicates is the only administrative and operation of reactor which is outside the power generation. So if you look at it, it is no safety hazard in a way, but definitely it is a secure, safeguard kind of a commitment which is there we need to work upon. And as a government institution, we should, the tier one or the government directly has its own safeguards up. But when they are subcontracting to the other vendors, these kind of protocols should also be followed and given these same rules and regulations to be applied to them down the line.
Dr. Munot, who really benefits from an attack like this? And why would a nuclear plant be a target today? Help us understand that.
This data and or firstly are major to create a havoc in people saying that, oh, there was an attack in a nuclear power plant. So this creates another fear in terms of public that they might some or the other down the line lead to a catastrophe, which people have a fear that every radiation is a carcinogen, and this particularly hampers overall progress in a way or the energy security of the nation in wartime. If we looking at what Viksit Bharat, nuclear is a reliable energy source. But if people create fear in this part, to have getting into nuclear in very faster mode will definitely have its own problems.
Dr. Munot, irrespective of whether these files are sensitive or non-sensitive, are there any signs that a larger strategic player could be involved in this?
Definitely, that has to be being taken, strategically. I mean, this is too early to say because the computer emergency response team is verifying those particular files and looking towards what are those exactly the details about that. So that will be clear when they come out with their own report and justifications. But definitely, these kind of in a cyber security, if you look about as a whole, definitely it is something which we should be in long term worried about because the nature of attacks or the reliability is being changing. If you look at the warfare materials or basically you're targeting a nation's development down the line from a very niche phobia of radiation, particularly from that as in using that as an weaponry, particularly.
Dr. Munot, say for example, even if no systems were disrupted, could this still be an attempt to map India's critical infrastructure for the future?
It will be in terms of only how much we generate as a power. Because if you look at it, when the core nuclear designs are not being leaked, so the reactor in itself is very safe. And particularly, we have to understand this also. Nuclear reactor does not work on single safety system. It is redundancy in its highest peak. So we have a concept called defense in there. For every safety, we have many separate systems put up, and all those particular independently working on separate fundamental facilities also. So it will not damage or hamper in the operation of a reactor, but mapping it down would definitely, in long term, give a basic access of which system is located where to if some malicious intent is there.
Dr. Munot, India is betting heavily on nuclear energy. We are also expanding our AI footprint. There are many data centers that are coming up. There are semiconductor plants that are coming up. All of these sectors, they become very important to India's economy. All of these sectors, they require a lot of electricity, a lot of power. So do they also, in a way, become more attractive targets for these attacks, such cyber attacks?
Definitely, because now what we are becoming as not just a manufacturing hub, but we are looking towards a technology or in a Vishwaguru kind concept in technology as well. We are one of the best, particularly performing in thorium reactors. We are, though we have some instances where we have not commercialized it, but the recent criticality of the second stage in the nuclear power program in India is a very big announcement to the world that we are developing those technologies independently.
Yeah.
So the reliability, geopolitics altogether is a very big statement in this.
Yeah. All right. Dr. Samyak Munot, thank you very much for speaking with RT India and sharing your thoughts on this.